As someone who has worked in law enforcement, it is gut wrenching and it puts the largest lump in the back of your throat because we take an oath to protect the public and to protect people from people like him. But when people like him become people like us, you get what we've been dealing with for the last 300 years since police brutality.
Yo, it's Geeked Up Reacts right back where you at, man. Hefe coming to you with my co-host as always. We got everyone here on the panel. Juju, Rome, Q on the studio here today for another hot video. As always, got to show y'all some love and support, man, because y'all really turning us up. The subscriptions, the comments, the likes, everything. We love y'all. Keep it blessed. Keep commenting, subscribing, all that. As you can see, man, you know, terrible situation, honestly. Sonya Massey, we're gonna say her name as much as we can. We got an officer that kind of just went ahead and gave her thoughts or comments on it. We want to see it from that officer standpoint to see what she has, and she probably give some insight. So we're gonna see what it's like, man. Drop a like on the video, subscribe to the content. Let's go and get this one popping.
Good morning. On July 6, 2024, 36-year-old Sonya Massey called 911 because she thought someone had broken into her home. Earlier that day, had a medical event because she had a medical wristband on. When Officer Grayson, I don't even want to say his name, but when Officer Grayson responded to dispatcher's call to her home, he stepped to her front door with the intent to kill her. As someone who has worked in law enforcement for the better half of my 20s, I have never been taught that boiling water is a lethal weapon, ever. See, you're taught, where I was trained, you're taught ability, opportunity, and jeopardy. Does someone have the ability to hurt you? Does someone have the opportunity to hurt you? And do you feel like your life is in jeopardy? Now, I've never really always agreed with the jeopardy part because everyone's perception of a threat is different. There was nothing in her hands when she fell to the ground when he started shooting. He moved closer to shoot her. He refused to allow his battle buddy to render aid because he said, and I quote, "That's a kill shot, she's done." Then proceeded to call her a effing B and that she was crazy as her body laid helpless, lifelessly on the floor of her own kitchen. As someone who has worked in law enforcement, it is gut wrenching and it puts the largest lump in the back of your throat because we take an oath to protect the public and to protect people from people like him. But when people like him become people like us, you get what we've been dealing with for the last 300 years since police brutality. Someone commented on my post that I made a few days ago when I was, encouraging people to go out and to vote, and said that I need to be addressing Sonya Massey. That's who I need to be addressing because I'm in law enforcement. I want to make it very clear. There is a large divide in law enforcement when it comes to Department of Corrections and police that patrol the street. We get overlooked as well because we just work in the prisons. That's what they say. But there's a big divide there. So it's hard to speak on. That video was disgusting. But how many times have we seen that? How many times have we gotten on this app and made these videos and said these people's names? And how many times have we come together and signed freaking campaigns and GoFundMes and how many times have we done that? We do it every time. But unless we elect somebody in office that represents us and gives the smallest fuck about our basic human rights, this will never stop. So please go out and vote and do what's right. That's all I got to say.
Hey, man. Yeah, I mean, and that's, listen, situation is crazy in itself. I ain't gonna say too much on it because it's the situation speaks for itself. Honestly, that's why I didn't even show the video because the video was just gut wrenching, like she said. It's just disgusting. You know what I'm saying? It's nothing that you want to really see. But ultimately, like she said, we tired of dealing with people like this out there in the world, yo. That just got, I don't know what going on in their mind, vendettas that they have against certain people, individuals, whatever. But if you've seen the video, you can obviously see that it wasn't a situation where anyone needed to be unalived in any type of way. So just ultimately prayers out to the family. It's really sad. I hate to see this. Honestly, how many have we lost so far with this going on years back? But it's disgusting, man. It's pretty disgusting shit.
Rest in peace, indeed. I would actually like to raise a question to the people watching, people who leave comments, or just anybody who may come across the video, even if they don't actually leave any comments. And I would ask, because this has been like a very common and a very reoccurring like case over the however many years, decades long that this has been something that's happened. Is there a way through the vetting process of like arming and becoming a police officer to try to kind of account for these kinds of individuals? Is there some kind of test that is either not being ran or something that we could be doing differently, something maybe different to look out for? Because I'm curious on how we can actually make a really huge impact on these things. I asked that question just for the people watching as well as y'all, but I asked that because I've always been a big proponent of like actually getting the thing done. I like to actually see something happen. And as much as I understand the protests and I understand the signs and the sit-ins and all that thing, those are all important in their own ways. I'm curious if there can be a much more impactful and direct change that can be made, because doing that only goes so far. A lot of those times, those people that you're protesting in those offices are just sitting out there at the water cooler, like, look at them. And then they just go ahead back to their work. Like they're not really being moved by this like y'all think they are. If they have been, I feel a lot more would have changed. So I'm curious if there's something that could be implemented structurally to kind of catch these individuals or to stop them from joining the ranks of police officers or doctors or any of those really highly powerful positions, because we hear about stuff like this far too frequently.
Too much. Juan, weigh in, man. What's going on? What through your mind?
I think honestly, I mean, I would just say I think that's the thing we don't know, is when it comes to those officers or doctors or whoever it may be, when it comes to just situations when people need help and things like that, people who don't know the proper training and how to go about their actual job and things like that, people who don't have the sensitivity and the care and of what's required to do their job. I think the thing we're also seeing is repetition. We all talk about carelessness and things like that when it comes to law enforcement, and this is just another situation that we see of just how important it is to keep that unity within each other and look out for our loved ones and things like that. Check up on our people, because you don't know who's gonna call, who's gonna come to your house when you make that call at the end of the day. So just check on your people, man, for real.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, just to what Quinn had said, I'd like to see that as well, just to see what ways. I feel like, I see this has always been a thing, and since it's always been a thing, I feel like that has always been a question that people have been trying to attack, just like a lot of things that kind of get discussed, that are a public concern. I just feel like this is a manifestation of like in all fields of life, in all fields of business, in all fields of where you work, where you live, where you stay, prejudices and things of that nature will always manifest themselves. They just manifest themselves in different ways. And I just feel like this is a hard problem to solve because it's a human problem. How do you solve prejudice? And this is just a manifestation of prejudice in this certain field. When you give people like this power and they're allowed to slip through, I mean, there's always going to be a way to slip through. But when you give these people that type of power, situations like these arise. That's just a manifestation of that prejudice. So it's a very sad situation, and one we can definitely try to make sure that there's more invested interest in solving that problem. I don't really think there's a big interest in actually trying to solve the problem, but I don't think it'll just ever be fully solved. It's just sad.
Yeah, it's honestly, it's like everyone's saying up here, man. It's just a sad situation. We could reiterate that every which way we want to, and then it's not going to come out any other, any differently other than just a different way to say it. Really, it's just sad. I really do pray for anyone that's in a situation like that. Just she was obviously going through some mental health things as well too, as they were saying before. So, it's just. It's tough. It's tough, and we just got to make sure that we, like Juan said, we checking in on our people, making sure that we, we taking care of who we can take care of, and just seeking help for anything that we might be going through. I'm gonna pray for the officer too, man. Honestly, that's all I can do. That's all we can do, right? We just hope that God fixes him and understands that he made some wrongful decisions that he gonna have to live with for the rest of his life. And that's just how we gonna rock with him, man. We're not even gonna give no hate because we not about that. We about the positivity, man. And we appreciate y'all for rocking with us as well too, man. Make sure you drop a like on it, subscribe to the content, fill up the comments, so let us know what you're thinking about it. Catch you on that next one. Peace.